You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Okay, so if you looked away from your phone for like 5 minutes last week, you probably came back to find the whole tech world had changed again.
It feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? The pace is just relentless right now.
Totally. From, basic code stuff all the way up to, well, revolutions apparently being organized on gaming apps. It's
It
wild.
really is.
Maybe you're trying to get up to speed for a meeting. Maybe you're just like super curious. Either way, we've sifted through the mountain of updates to figure out what actually matters right now.
Yeah, welcome back. We're here to connect some dots for you.
We are indeed trying to make sense of it all for Vocal Technologist team and, of course, for you.
So today we're looking at, well, a bit of everything. Big consumer app trends, some deep programming changes, and yeah, even how tech's popping up in geopolitics.
Okay, let's dive in then, starting with where everyone's eyeballs seem to be. The consumer front lines, especially AI.
Absolutely. And the really big news there is Google's Gemini. It's not just launching, it's the way it's launching. The momentum is pretty aggressive.
Aggressive is definitely the word. I mean, Gemini just rocketed to the #1 free app spot on the US iPhone App Store. It's ahead of ChatGPT, which is #2. And even Threads is down at #3. That's fast.
Really fast. We're talking, what, over 23 million new users already? And it's doing well internationally, too, like second place in Canada and the UK.
But the interesting thing, as you said, isn't just the app itself, right? It's the strategy underneath.
Exactly. It's not really about getting you to open another app. It's about embedding it. Integration and reach. They're pushing Gemini straight into Chrome.
On desktop and mobile?
Right. So you don't have to go to the AI. The AI is just there in the browser you already use.
It's just like they're making Chrome the AI operating system, almost like cognitive plumbing, making intelligence just part of the background flow.
That's a good way to put it, cognitive plumbing, because it lets you ask for help right there on the page you're looking at. Like, summarize this complex article for me, or help me schedule this meeting.
Or searching YouTube or Maps without leaving the page you're on.
Precisely. It shows that embedding this stuff directly into massive existing user bases, like Chrome's, is maybe way more powerful right now than just launching another standalone app people have to remember to use.
Okay, so that's the consumer side. Let's switch gears. What about the tools and systems building all this software, the stuff under the hood?
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting for developers and anyone running serious systems. We're seeing some important performance boosts coming.
Like what?
Well, one big one is Postgres 18. It's bringing in new asynchronous I/O.
Okay, asynchronous I/O. For people not deep in database tech, why is that a big deal?
Okay, so think of the part of the database, fetching data like a busy chef. Normally, synchronously, the chef asks for an ingredient and has to wait, does nothing until it arrives.
Right.
With async I/O, while waiting for that one ingredient, the chef realizes they have a spare second. So they quickly prep other things, chop veggies, grab other spices, basically batching requests or reads from storage during idle moments.
Ah, so it uses the waiting time more effectively, keeps things moving.
Exactly. It should make reads much faster for a lot of situations and just generally improve how much the system can handle overall. But, and this is important, writes are still synchronous.
Ah, okay. For reliability, I assume?
Definitely. Writes have to stay synchronous for ACD compliance. You know, the C for consistency, the D for durability. You need that guarantee that when data is written, it follows the rules and it's really saved. It needs that immediate confirmation.
Got it. That makes sense. Bedrock stuff. Okay, now shifting from database architecture to the AI that might write the code for that architecture. OpenAI's Codex, GPT-5 version.
Yeah, this is quite a leap. The new GPT-5 Codex model has this concept of thinking time. It can apparently spend up to 7 hours working on a single complex coding problem.
Wow, 7 hours? That's not just spitting out a quick code snippet.
No, not at all. It suggests it can tackle really thorny long-chain problems that need iterative work, refinement over hours, like designing complex software architecture, maybe.
That's a whole different level of AI coding assistance.
It is. And it kind of connects to this idea that even as tools get super complex, good design fundamentals still matter. Like how the web itself handles text.
You mean like UTF-8? That's always struck me as such an elegant piece of engineering.
Totally. UTF-8 is brilliant, mainly because of its backward compatibility with ASM.
Right. Every Plain old ASCII file is already a valid UTF-8 file. And if a UTF-8 file only has those basic English characters, it works perfectly as an ASCII file too.
Exactly, which means decades of old text files, config files, simple scripts, they didn't all break when the world moved to handle more languages. That's just smart, resilient design built to last. It avoids chaos.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's digital foundations, but stuff also runs on physical things. Concrete, tunnels. Let's talk physical infrastructure.
Which inevitably brings us to the boring company in Vegas, the Loop.
Right. They finished another tunnel section.
Yeah, about 2.26 miles connecting the area near the airport, Harry Reid International, to the Westgate Resort. That's a useful link.
It is, but 2.26 miles.
Yeah.
How does that stack up against the overall vision?
Well, that's the constant tension, isn't it? The grand plan is for like 68 miles of tunnels and over 100 stations. So 2.26 miles is, well, it's progress, but it highlights how slow and expensive digging actually is, no matter how futuristic the vision. It's just hard engineering.
Okay, contrasting that massive dig with something you wear on your face. Meta's new Ray-Ban glasses, the display ones.
Right. This feels like a significant step beyond just glasses that record video.
Because they actually show you stuff.
Exactly. There's a full-color, high-res screen integrated into the right lens. You can see messages, who's calling, maybe live captions, without needing your phone out.
Okay, interesting. But how do you control it if you can't really touch the lens display?
They're using a wristband. It tracks hand and finger gestures for scrolling and clicking. Pretty clever solution to the input problem.
And battery life. Price.
They're saying up to 6 hours of mixed use, whatever that entails, and starting at $799. It definitely signals where Meta sees things going screens moving off your phone and onto your face more immediately.
Okay, from high-tech glasses to tech being used in ways nobody probably predicted. Let's talk governance in Nepal.
Yeah, this story is genuinely fascinating. It shows how tech can be a tool for organization outside traditional channels. So Nepal's had a lot of political instability, like 14 government changes since 2008.
Wow, okay.
And after some major protests, the younger generation, Gen Z mainly, seemed to have felt the existing political system wasn't working for them
So they bypassed it.
completely, using Discord, the app mostly known for gaming communities.
What is Discord?
Yep. A group called Hami Nepal hosted a debate about the country's future, live streamed it on a Discord channel, and then right after, they held a virtual poll on Discord to pick a leader.
You're kidding? They picked a leader via a Discord poll.
They picked former Supreme Court Chief Justice Sushila Karkatisa. Well, it's a remarkable example of using readily available communication tech to organize and make decisions when traditional structures feel broken. Power follows attention.
Right. Wow. Okay. Discord elections. Speaking of unexpected timelines and tech in strange places, let's look up Axiom Space and the ISS.
Right. Axiom's planning to launch these orbital data center nodes,
Yeah.
basically adding more computing power up on the International Space Station.
Okay. Sounds useful for science up there. What's the plan?
It's ambitious. 2 nodes by the end of 2025, maybe 3 or more by late 2027.
That seems fast for space hardware. And isn't the ISS?
Exactly. That's the slightly awkward part. The ISS is currently scheduled to be deorbited around 2030.
So they're installing new hardware with potentially only a few years of operational life on the station.
Seems that way. It raises questions. Is it just a short-term boost for immediate data needs? Or maybe a stepping stone, testing tech for Axiom's own commercial space station they hope to build later this decade? Either way, it's a tight window.
Interesting timing. Okay, let's pivot to probably the most debated area in tech right now, AI. The big picture risks and rewards.
Yeah, and you've got these really starkly opposing viewpoints emerging, almost like different philosophies.
Yeah. Like who?
Well, on one extreme, you have someone like Eliezer Yudkowsky, founder of NRI. He's basically the prophet of AI doom.
Okay, doom how?
He argues very strongly that building superintelligence, using the methods we have now, is fundamentally uncontrollable and will almost certainly lead to, well, everyone on Earth dying.
That's quite the prediction. But he's been influential in the AI safety discussion for a long time, right? Even if his views are on the extreme end.
Undeniably. He really forced people early on to grapple with the control problem. How do you manage something vastly smarter than you?
Okay, so that's the doom perspective. What's the counter?
Well, contrast that with Elon Musk's approach with XAI. He's been talking more about this recently. His goal, he says, is to build AI that is maximally truth-seeking.
Maximally truth-seeking. What does that mean in practice?
His argument seems to be that the real danger, the dystopian risk, doesn't come from intelligence itself, but from building AI that's forced to lie or conform to certain biases or political narratives. So for Musk, safety comes from demanding radical objectivity and truthfulness from the AI right from the start.
Two very different takes on the core risk. So while people debate planetary extinction or ultimate truth, what are scientists actually doing with generative AI that's useful today?
Well, one really powerful example is in biotech. Researchers at the Arc Institute in Stanford, they've used generative AI models EVO1 and EVO2 to create the first viable bacteriophage genomes entirely designed by AI.
Okay, bacteriophages, those are the viruses that specifically target bacteria, right? Why is designing them with AI a big deal?
It's huge because it means we might move beyond just finding existing phages in nature. We could potentially design custom phages to precisely target specific threats, like antibiotic-resistant superbugs or agricultural pests. It's like programming life at the genetic level to solve problems.
That sounds incredibly powerful, almost sci-fi.
It is. But there's a practical check right now. Cost. Designing and synthesizing these custom genomes is apparently still very expensive.
So the cost itself is kind of a safety mechanism for now, slowing down widespread use.
Exactly. It gives researchers and regulators time to think through the safety and ethical implications before the tech potentially becomes cheap and easy for anyone to use. It's a natural speed bump.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's wrap up with one more major tech intersection, geopolitics and big business, the TikTok deal.
Right. A framework agreement seems to be in place between the U.S. and China for the sale of TikTok's U.S. operations.
Away from ByteDance, the Chinese parent company, who's buying?
It's a powerful consortium. Oracle, Silver Lake, and the VC firm Andreessen Horowitz are involved.
And the key asset isn't just the app name, is it? It's the algorithm.
Precisely. The plan involves ByteDance licensing its recommendation algorithm, the secret sauce that decides what videos you see, to the new U.S. entity. That's the core IP.
And the deadline got pushed back.
Yeah, the original investment deadline was extended. They now have until December 16th to finalize this extremely complicated deal. It's a real balancing act between national security concerns about data and influence and the massive commercial value of TikTok.
Okay, wow. We covered a lot of ground there.
You did.
When I try to pull it together, what really stands out is just the sheer range. You've got this intense AI race for dominance, with Gemini integrating everywhere, then fundamental upgrades to digital plumbing like Postgres, and literal plumbing with the boring company tunnels. And then these completely unexpected things, like a Discord poll shaping a nation's leadership in Nepal. The breadth is just staggering.
It really is. And if we connect that back to the AI discussion, the gap between the high-level philosophy and the day-to-day reality is pretty startling, isn't it?
How so?
Well, we heard Yudkowsky's argument, building superintelligence equals planetary disaster, existential stakes.
Right, the ultimate risk.
Meanwhile, down on the ground, what are companies actually focused on? They're spending huge sums on the AI tools we have now, like coding assistants. Apparently 85% of engineers are using them.
So the immediate concern isn't Skynet, it's the budget.
Kind of. It brings up this really important practical question. When people talk about AI risk in boardrooms today, are they really debating hypothetical future superintelligence? Or are they much more worried about the immediate measurable risk of wasting millions on tokens and compute for current LLMs without seeing a clear, positive financial outcome? Are we getting actual ROI from this stuff right now?
Yeah, that's a massive difference. The gap between, like you said, fearing the AGI apocalypse and just trying to justify the cloud computing bill.
It's a huge disconnect between the grand theory and the grounded reality of the expense report.
A perfect place to leave it for today. Food for thought indeed. As always, thanks for joining us to unpack these critical shifts. Keep digging into the material. Stay curious about where this is all heading.
We'll talk to you next time.
Spoken Tech, for your ears.